Hello everyone, welcome to Alpha Hustle. This is a daily review of Bank Nifty where we will talk about how market auction today and what markets failed to do with important references for tomorrow's auction. Let's quickly get started. We had some drama yesterday with outage on NSE, post which market created these abnormal ticks and spikes with truncated and extended market hours. So for all intensive purposes, I have excluded yesterday from my market profile charts to take a fresh look at the auction. We had a good opening for the buyers above yesterday's close. However, buyers failed to get a follow through to the upside in B and C periods. That led to the liquidation all the way towards the open. Why is that the case? So let's take a look at the important reference that we had from the past. Though we had early adopters from a longer time frame sellers in the zone of 37,700. However, the majority of the longer time frame sellers have distributed on the 16th of Feb and the 17th of Feb. You could see a nice distribution here where the sellers accumulated the positions that led the one time framing to the downside all the way through to 35,000 before the responsive buyers have stepped in and shut off the selling. What market tried to do today? The buyers have initially probed into this HVN with distribution where we have got some presence of some higher time frame sellers who have shut off the buying that led the liquidation all the way back towards the open. Now let's take a closer look at the 5-minute charts. So this is a question that I often get on the social media, like how do I trade? I try to get the market context from the market profile charts on how the market's auctioning and who's in control of the auction, whether it's the buyers or sellers, based on which I develop a view on which I'll have to trade. So depending on my view, I take the trade entries, whether it has to be a directional or non-directional strategy. As you can see, markets open higher and a big, wide bullish candle supported by volume that pushed the markets higher and a probe into 37,150, 37,200 zone before the responsive sellers stepped in to push the markets lower. Markets pretty much kind of chopped around for the first half around the VWAP before this seller that appeared near the 37,000 zone with some nice volumes pushed the market lower. So this seller around the 37,000 seemed to have appeared to sell into on every rise towards the VWAP. You can see there was a rally back towards the VWAP that has been sold into, another rally back towards the VWAP that has been sold into. So clearly the buyers are weak in today's auction. So all these weak buyers that have entered the market in the first 30 minutes started to liquidate when they started to see failure in getting the prices above the VWAP. Now let's take a closer look at the auction and look into the important references that we had today. So one of the important references is obviously the distribution zone that we had from 36,820 to 37,400. So for tomorrow's auction, the important reference that we'll have to consider is the rally high that's formed at 36,990. So this is a very important reference to the upside. If the buyers were to step in again to probe higher, this is the first reference. So any acceptance above 37,000 would potentially result in a chop, and prices getting acceptance within this zone is going to retest the distribution high or the high end of the HVN at 37,400. So any acceptance above 37,400 is going to take a retest at the 37,700 and 37,770 zone. On the downside, market has got a poor close towards the low end of the range, leaving a failed auction, which suggests that the auction to the downside is not fully complete. So the sellers at tomorrow's opening would probably try to probe the low of today. So any acceptance below is going to likely to chop around and then try to auction or fill up some volume within yesterday's zone, because we had a truncated session in the morning and then extended hours in the evening that kind of led a one-way rally. So that auction is not clean. So the markets would probably try to head in that direction. That's all for today. Thank you very much for joining and listening. Have a nice day.